So this is a new Craftsman build. I've already put it on its side, right? But it has a Kohler 17. I'm pulling that off and putting the Oppie on. I'm putting this engine on Little Red. Now, one of the big things is clutch relocation. Right now, it's got like somebody, when I got the thing, somebody has already welded the deck pulley here to the bottom or top of the drive pulley. So that's cool. It's already got like a 5.5 stock back there. I'm gonna up this to a 7 and probably a 2.5. I hope this belt works. It's brand new. But I'm gonna go through and show how to relocate one of these clutches, because I've had a bunch of people ask me about that. So I'm gonna get the drill and impact and all that and get ready to start moving it. So I've already started here. One of the first things you want to do is just take a bunch of pins out. Your brake lever, you don't need this anymore. Usually stock brakes don't work anyways, so you don't use them. And then your clutch linkage from the actual clutch idler arm to here, I went ahead and popped that pin out. And then on this deck stuff, there's the big, these kind of push pins. I replace all of those with those if possible, but keep those somewhere safe in case you do in fact need them. You pull this whole piece off here, and it looks like, yeah, it'll clear. I don't need a pulley, engine pulley. 9/16 here. Some of them are carriage heads, some aren't. I think this one's carriage head. So I'm gonna pull the entire clutch linkage off, spin it around, pop the spring off, and then I'm gonna flip it back on over here. You also wanna keep some idler pulleys from your deck because you'll need to reuse one somewhere back here. So again, you need to keep this in this really big washer because that's what the clutch pivot's on. You will need a new bolt. The factory one won't work. It's not long enough. See how the frame dips down? So you'll need a new pivot bolt, not a big deal. So here's the linkage. As you can see, this is the piece. It used to sit underneath, and now it's on top. And it runs, stock there. You can see with the clutch all the way, that would be all the way pushed in. I need to drill a hole somewhere in this area to hold it about there. So when I let off, might take a few holes, not a big deal. Sometimes you might have to knock this bushing out the frame to have the linkage clear, or cut a chunk out of the corner of it. I think I did on Big Red. So it looks as if I need to drill a hole, because you want this, you don't want it like this, you want it straight. So I need to drill a hole probably right where that little rust mark is. Needs to be a 3/8 hole. And then once this is sitting about there, you need to drill another hole somewhere back here and put a second idler pulley. Has to be a flat one. You need to keep this, because see, now your clutch linkage is here. If it goes straight, if you have too big of a pulley, it just rubs. My friend's LT1000 doesn't have this one here, and it just rubs really bad. So you need this one, and then it goes over, under, then over, and back to your transaxle. Just take a deck idler pulley and you're probably good, right? That's what I've done. Either take, just take a big idler pulley like that, or go buy another one. So now I need the drill. You need a 3/8 bit for this. And I should have plenty of bolts in here. And you can use a 5/16 if you don't have a 3/8. We've used old head bolts before and they've worked just fine. So I'm gonna get to marking this. Pretty much, I'm just gonna hold it where I want it, center the drill bit, and drill through. Pretty simple. So, it took me a little while, but I got the clutch moved. Had to drill 2 holes. It was a little too far this way that I couldn't get an idler pulley in here. And then when I moved it back, it didn't have any clutch travel because it would just hit the frame. So I bent the rod, but instead of bending it here at the 45, I bent it here, and that allows me to keep the parking brake. Big Red doesn't even have parking brake. This does. You can see it hits the frame. Push it. Good news, it is nowhere near tight. If I set another pulley somewhere in here and then put a spring on it, it will pull it tight. I'm thinking probably right around just on the other side of this square here. Put a flat out there. Should work. I'll be back when I have that bolted up. You know how to drill a hole and tighten the bolt. All right. This is like what the completed setup looks like. I ended up using a new outdoor pulley here. The one I had was good, but this one actually has a wider belt surface on it. I used an old spindle nut and a couple washers and a factory belt guard on there too, so the belt can't jump off that. Just need to hook the linkage in because it's not tight yet. But you can see if I pull back on the clutch like it has a spring, it gets nice and tight. Has good belt wrap. Lines up pretty good. Then when I push it, well, on these big pulleys it's hard to see, but I can spin it and it doesn't spin the whole belt. So push the clutch and it stops. Pull back and it gets tight. It's not rubbing on that bolt head. You got to watch that. If you have the bolt from the top and the nut is sticking out, sometimes you have to grind it. So I'm going to get this linkage tightened in here. I'll probably take some Lucas and drop on here. I put Lucas on this bearing because it was kind of loud. Feels better now. And I had to bend this guard because it was rubbing the belt and holding it like that. So I'll just hit it with a hammer. Gets tight. I'm gonna try and find the stock spring and hook it from there somewhere up here. So, almost done. I need to pull this out too, hang on. Another thing is these brake rods have these little cotter pins. And these little cotter pins are like the most perfect cotter pins because they're so small and whatever. To hold this in. So if you have two, that's perfect. I'll probably use a factory twist pin on the front and then this one on the top. All right. Also, don't get rid of this. It keeps your belt from sagging, and if it sags too far, your clutch don't work anymore. There we go. It's got tension. Pretty much hooked the stock spring up to the slot here. And then I took some random spring, tightened it to this bolt here, and it's around the clutch linkage here to hold just a little bit more tension on it. It wasn't quite tight enough. Gets loose. Here, I've not even checked. Does this working brake work? Yes, dude. Move all the pulleys easy. And it does slip. Then you, well, has to be flipped the right way for gravity to work. Not bad. Here, I'm gonna flip it back down and show you all it working. Definitely a little tight. He likes to just keep driving.
tightness.